UFC 315 is in the books, and we have a new champion in Jack Della Maddalena. I was completely wrong. But make sure you like and subscribe. Just kidding. Well, I mean, it would help if you subscribe. I'm just going to quickly break down all the fights that we witnessed tonight in terms of the main event. And shout out to the Russian website that I used, because that card was not worth $80. It wasn't worth $40. I said it before the fight. I said it after the fight. Yeah, I was completely right about that one. But I was wrong on more than a few of these fights. Now, the undercard was pretty good. I mean, it was a good night for Canada. Like, Jasmine Jasdavicius came in. She starched Jessica Andrade in, 2 minutes and cemented herself as a true contender in the division. I still think Jessica Andrade is going to go down as one of those champions of like, oh, yeah. Yeah, she was a champion, wasn't she? But it was a complete fluke. I mean, and it was. She dropped Rose Namajunas on her head, and I think 99 out of 100 times, 999 out of 100 times, Thug Rose wins that fight. But Jasmine Jasdavicius goes in there and just puts it on Jessica Andrade. It's amazing to me that Jessica Andrade is like the one Brazilian fighter that has no Brazilian ground game. Like, stunning. But either way, Mike Malott, dude, putting it on Charles Radke in Canada, in his home. That was an impressive victory. I didn't really like the matchup, honestly, because you just have two really good young fighters going at each other. Wasn't a huge fan of that, but the most vicious knockout of the night was the power bar, shutting Bruno Silva's lights out with nasty elbows to the point where Silva had to be stretchered out of the arena. It was so bad. But Marc-Andre Barriot, welcome back in the win column, man, in a big way. The undercard was good. The undercard delivered. The main card, though, I don't know. That's up to you. The first fight of the night we had was Benoit Saint Denis going against the guy that had no business being in there, and he knew that. You know, Charlie, Chuck, Preppick, I don't know. It doesn't really matter, because the next time he fights will be some other no-name fighter on the undercard of probably a UFC fight night in the Apex. And that's why he did it. He took this short notice fight knowing full well that he was a lamb getting fed to the slaughter, because it would get him another fight. He was doing the UFC a favor by saving the Benoit Saint Denis fight and saving the audience a chance to see Benoit Saint Denis, and that's exactly what happened. And Benoit Saint Denis went out there and did exactly what everybody expected him to do, which was end this fight. I was pretty surprised it went more than a round, honestly. But Benoit Saint Denis back in the win column, and let's see if the UFC uses that to kind of get him and build him back up. I still would like to see the Gene Silva fight. I think that's a way better matchup. I think the minus 1,600 betting odds kind of proves that, but we'll see if the UFC makes that fight. Either way, you know, Benoit Saint Denis back in the win column, I think that's good for the division. Next fight of the night we had, which was one that I was really wrong about. Alexa Grasso goes out there and had no answers for Natalia Silva. And Natalia Silva immediately jumps to the front of the line to take on the still champion, Valentina Shevchenko. Alexa Grasso was running around for her life in that entire fight, trying to catch up to Natalia Silva, and had really no way in. She tried. But Natalia Silva's footwork was something that I completely underestimated. I mean, I was the idiot who said that there were levels to this game, and that Alexa Grasso was going to show her that, and that, yeah, even though Natalia Silva hasn't lost a fight in like 7 or 8 years, the level of competition has not reached the Alexa Grasso level yet. I really thought Alexa Grasso was going to be able to get a hold of her, take her down. I know Natalia Silva has great, defense, ground game defense, but I still thought, or takedown defense, I still thought that Alexa Grasso was going to be too much for her. I was dead wrong. Hand up, own it. It happens. And Natalia Silva immediately jumps to number one contendership. I mean, she beat the number one contender. So, obviously, she will be up next for the title shot. There's talks, obviously, of a super fight between Zhang Weili and Valentina. We'll see if that happens. But, yeah, I mean, really impressive victory. It wasn't the most exciting fight, because I think to someone maybe just watching UFC for the first time, or MMA for the first time or second time, it just kind of looked like Natalia Silva was just running around a little bit and kind of avoiding, but she picked and popped her spots, and she frustrated the hell out of Alexa Grasso. And then the broadcast said it. I think that would be a matchup that would frustrate just about anybody, and we saw that. Next fight of the night, we saw Jose Aldo go out there and lose to Eamon Zahabi and lose badly. And what I mean by badly is he won the first round. And you could make a case for round 2, although I thought Zahabi won round 2. Round 3, however, Aldo hurts him bad. Aldo goes for kind of broke. Zahabi survives it, and Aldo is gassed out. How is that possible, Jose? You missed weight. You signed up for a fight at 135. You missed weight so badly that you had to tell Zahabi's team, oh, hey, by the way, we need to fight at featherweight because our guy ain't making the weight. Zahabi still takes the fight. Still takes the fight when he had to cut, 9 pounds more than you, and you're the one gassed out? It kick rocks, dude. I enjoyed watching Jose Aldo lose, even though I thought Jose Aldo would win because, as I said in my pre-fight video, the MMA media, and Strickland, I'll call them out, MMAfighting.com, the people there, I went on their live stream just to watch it. You would have thought their dogs died. And the excuses that MMA media will make for Jose Aldo, I said it in their chat, I got called out for it, but in their opinion, and they're biased, and that's the thing, but just own your biasness. But in their opinion, Jose Aldo has never lost a fight. He's gotten screwed each time. As soon as I signed on, I have to hear one of their guys, Mike Heck, say, I blame Mario Bautista for this. And if you go back and listen to their post-fight against the Mario Bautista fight, they will make excuses for Jose Aldo, saying, it wasn't an exciting fight, Mario Bautista didn't do much, Jose Aldo deserves to win. They constantly make excuses for Jose Aldo about his quote-unquote retirement fight, which was at Elevation in Salt Lake City against Merab, where he got mauled. They hated that matchup. But yet they thought that he deserved a title shot. Yeah, I think we all know what would have happened if Jose Aldo had gotten a title shot. They just constantly make excuses, and that's what happened. They thought that Jose Aldo won the fight. I thought it was pretty close, but I thought Eamon Zahabi ended up winning it. I thought he deserved it. But to see the MMA media, all because this dude fought in the WEC, I get it. I get you have a soft spot for him. He ain't it anymore. And thank God he's retiring. Thank God he's putting his gloves down and saying, I don't have it anymore. Because it's nauseating listening to, whether it be MMA podcasts or videos or whatever, and they fangirl all over this guy when he hasn't had it in years. But yet I have to hear, he should. Really, he deserves a title shot after that one win. Please. And credit to Eamon Zahabi. He looked like he was done. And, man, he rebounded in a big way. Big way in that fight. And ended up getting the biggest win of his career. And ends up defeating an all-time legend in Jose Aldo. Next up, we had one of my few predictions that was correct was a very, very close victory from Valentina Shevchenko, beating Manon Fiorot. Fiorot, however you say it. Manon lost is the point. But I'll tell you what, the heart that she showed after that first round, getting her nose busted in, and continuing to grind away on Valentina was impressive. The fight kind of went exactly as I thought. I thought, Manon's size was going to give Valentina trouble, and it did. I mean, every time Fiorot ended up, I'm going to butcher that name 15 more times. Anytime she ended up pushing her against the fence, she kind of had her way with her. Valentina, though, did a really good job of getting out of it and, landed one takedown, I think, in the first round. But other than that, clinch and control time ended up going to Manon. The problem is she didn't really do a lot with it. So, yeah, close decision victory ends up going to Valentina. You have to give Silva the next shot. I don't want to see Zhang Weili. I'd rather see Silva at this point. But Valentina kind of did Valentina things, and I'll tell you what, her spinning attacks were impressively timed, landed, all that. At the end of the fight, I think it looked a lot more lopsided than the fight actually was in terms of if you looked at both fighters' faces. And then we move on to the main event where I was dead wrong. JDM goes in there, gets the victory. We have a new champion, but it was a great fight. It was a really good fight. And what I thought was going to happen was you were going to have Bilal Muhammad go in there and basically just wrestle him for 25 minutes and hold him and push him up against the fence. And then we didn't get that. We got a slugfest. And that was great. That was a great fight. I thought it was a little closer than some of the judges' scorecards, but I think this is good for the division. I think getting JDM in there, holding the belt is good. I thought this was very telling. I said before in my pre-fight video that this fight card was one of the worst of the year, if not the worst. I thought it was worse than 301. The fact that it was charged, $80 for it, joke. I don't know anyone who wanted to watch this fight. I have a buddy that I religiously watch fights with who said, yeah, I'm taking the night off. Like, that's how bad this fight card was. DraftKings, the official sponsor of UFC, didn't have an odds boost for this fight. Every single UFC pay-per-view, if you sign on to DraftKings, they have an odds boost for the pay-per-views. They actively want you to bet on UFC. That's like the incentive. Hey, here's an odds boost for a parlay. Have fun, 20%. They didn't have it. And I firmly believe that, unfortunately for him, Belal Muhammad is one of the reasons why. Belal Muhammad is your least favorite fighter's least favorite fighter. But I think what happened here tonight is unfortunate because he put on an exciting fight, but he ended up losing. It's unfortunate, but that was an exciting fight. And he won't get credit for it, even though he was one of the participants, because he lost the fight. And I think he's in that range right now where, like, for a lot of MMA fans, he can't do anything right. I don't have a personal problem with Belal Muhammad. I have a personal problem with Belal Muhammad being the main event of a card you're supposed to spend $80 with, and there's nothing underneath. And one of those fights, by the way, is Benoit Saint Denis facing a tomato can. That's an issue. But credit to him, man. Like, he went out there and he put on a performance. Unfortunately for him, it was just on the wrong end. 316 is supposed to be better. I will say, if the UFC does not capitalize on Steve Austin at UFC 316, they are doing themselves a massive disservice. You have an in with the WWE. You need Steve Austin there in some capacity. UFC 316, also, it just makes sense. Make it happen. All right? Not rocket science. I'll give you that one for free. Yeah, I don't know. What was your favorite fight of the night? All that good stuff. You can subscribe if you want. You know where that button is. You can hit thumbs up if you want. You know where that button is. Hit thumbs down. I don't really care. But what was the and who's next? Who's next in the division? We all know the UFC ain't giving Belal Muhammad a rematch. So who is next in the division for Belal Muhammad? I'm sorry. Jeez. Look, it's late, folks. For JDM. And what matchups coming out of this card are you looking forward to seeing? Yeah, that's it. I'm going to go to bed.